Hey FOBU family, friends, and anyone who's watching this video, welcome to FOB Youth. We're in our Easter devotional series, and it is Jesus, our banner of victory, right? Yesterday we talked about victory over guilt. Today we're talking about victory over shame. And so everybody knows the enemy, Satan, loves to talk. He prowls around like a lion, you know? He's accusing us. He's referred to in Revelations as the accuser. And he's accusing us day and night before God, right? And his whole goal is to make us fall, to get us to stumble, to live in shame, to live in defeat. And so you see, guilt, what we talked about yesterday, is about what we've done, our mistakes, our sin, things that we've done wrong, basically. That's guilt. When you do something wrong, you have a guilt towards that. Or you say something wrong, there's guilt with that. What we're talking about, shame, today, the victory over shame. Shame is about who we are. And so, as we've talked about, victory over guilt yesterday, a lot of us, sometimes we understand that, God forgives us, and we can live with that. We accept that, and then what we've done, has been forgiven, but we follow along with allowing ourselves to be accused by the enemy. And not only accused, but he shuts us down with the lies about who we are, our identity, right? And the enemy is so good at that, because a lot of times we don't feel but we don't place our identity in the foundation, in God. We don't really look at ourselves as children of God. We look at ourselves as, these broken people that aren't perfect or anything like that, but God made us perfectly. And so the enemy is paralyzing us with those lies about who we are. And we are called, we're perfectly made by God. And we're called to use the gifts and the talents that God has given us that give us a difference than anybody else. There's no one person who is exactly like another person. There's not another Pastor Cody. There's not another one of you. And God has given us those talents to use for the glory of God. But if we don't break free from the shame and the unworthiness that Satan brings into our life, we will never be able to fully accomplish what God has intended us to do, his perfect plan. And so when Jesus exchanged our sin for his righteousness on the cross, he made us brand new. He gave us victory over shame. He gave us a new identity, saying that we're wonderfully and fearfully made. We are God's children, holy, forgiven, covered by grace, empowered to do great work. So remember that today. Throughout this Easter week, remember what God says about you, what God says your identity is. You are his child. Take captive any thought that doesn't align with that. Take captive any thought that says that you are not perfectly made, that says you have to be a certain way, because you don't have to be like anybody else. God intended you to be who you are. Don't let shame, don't let guilt, and don't let sin take you away. And stay tuned for tomorrow's victory over sin, over this, over that. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at how we can have victory over fear. We've had victory over sin. Jesus brought victory over guilt. Jesus brought victory over shame. And tomorrow, through the death on the cross and the resurrection, he has given us victory over fear. So tune in tomorrow. We'll see you. Have a great week. Bye for now.